out there who will try to convince you that it can't be done. But before we get into dealing with other people who are telling you it can't be done, there's one person we have to talk about first. Of all the people in the world who will doubt you, it's this one person whose doubt has the power to absolutely crush you. If you can't move beyond this particular person's doubt, you'll get nowhere. You know who I'm talking about. Not your mom or your dad or your best friend, not that troll on social media. I'm talking about you. If you're reading this book, you know what it's like. And if not, then just read page 1. I modeled it for you. You're welcome. You want to create something new? Make a big splash? Follow your dreams? There's something out there you want to do or be, and for some crazy reason, you think you might actually be able to do it. But whenever you start going in that direction, whenever you think about taking the first step, the voices start up, the ones that try to keep you from even getting started. Do any of these sound familiar to you? There are people way more influential than you. Let them do it. You're too young. No one cares about what you have to say. You're too old. You're irrelevant now. Someone's already done that. Everyone will think you're unoriginal. You don't have the resume for this project. You definitely need more experience. You can't. You just don't have the skill. The people who will tell you you can't do it are everywhere, but they're not your biggest problem. The first time I chased a dream. When I was young, I wasn't into acting or singing or anything else in the arts. Not when I was little anyway. I just wanted to play soccer and be a kid, do all the boy stuff like climbing trees and running around and wrestling with my older brother Cody. But Cody? He actually got into acting at a young age. In fact, he went the homeschool route specifically so he'd have time to go to auditions, take special classes, and focus completely on trying to land roles. He loved it. So early on, I lived with someone who was chasing their dreams. My parents wanted me to get into acting too, but they never brought it up in a pushy way. I think they saw in my personality that I had natural raw talent, but when I didn't show much interest, they let me get on with my life and do the things I wanted to do. They were smart not to force me in that direction. That's exactly what would have caused me to resist it. But all of this changed one day when I was 10 years old. Cody had an audition for a movie role that his agent recommended he try out for. When he showed up, the casting director was surprised. It turned out they were looking for someone younger. Much younger. Someone my age. "Marcus," my mom said after Cody told her what had happened, "why don't you just give it a shot? It's a big opportunity, and movies like this don't come to Florida very often. You may as well try out for the part." Thinking back, I now realize why I never wanted to act. It wasn't because I didn't like the idea or because I thought it wasn't going to be fun. It was because that was my brother's thing. I was constantly being compared to Cody, and I took any chance to show I was different. So I told myself I couldn't act. The funny thing is that it was all in my head. No one was comparing me. It was just my own inner doubting voice telling me I couldn't do the same thing as my older brother. He was the actor, not me. He was the one trying out for movie roles, not me. If it weren't for Cody encouraging me and saying I really should try out, I probably wouldn't have done it. But the fact that this opportunity was only for me and we weren't competing for the role made me feel comfortable enough to try. I remember practicing my lines with my mom, just the two of us reading back and forth. It was the first time I had ever done anything like that, but I had seen my brother do it countless times, so I tried to mimic him. Almost immediately, I realized I was good at memorizing my lines quickly, even though I had always thought that would be the hardest part. I remember having this overwhelming sensation that acting might be something I enjoyed, something I might be very good at. Before I tried it, I thought it would maybe feel like homework, but soon I realized I could just have fun and play. I had a big personality even when I was 10 years old, so it came fairly naturally to me. My mom and I drove down to Miami later that week, and I walked into the room. I couldn't stop thinking, this is my first audition. This is my first audition. But even in the moment, I wasn't exactly nervous, at least not in any negative sense. I was excited. I was amped up, but I didn't feel like I had anything to lose. If I didn't get the part, I'd just go back to being my zany, off-the-wall self, and Cody could do all the formal acting stuff. At least that's what I kept telling myself. But then I started thinking, what if I did get the part? What would that mean? Could I measure up to Cody? Maybe I would be let down, or let everyone else down. I wasn't sure. "Okay," the manager said to me as I stood there, my mind racing. "Let's read the lines. Ready, Marcus?" I did it, and when we